Tax deeds versus tax liens. Which one should you start with? Gym Bro edition here today. I'm gonna use some weights in the gym as a simple visual representation of whether you should start with deeds or liens or both. And I'm gonna make it budget specific, right? So there's probably two camps. Camp A is maybe you have little to no money, okay? Camp B, maybe you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or $100,000, right? So let's start with the folks who don't have a lot of money. How do you get started, right? So for the average person wanting to get into real estate, they have to go on Zillow, and this weight here represents big money for a property on Zillow. Are there deals? Yeah, and if you can move this weight around, you could get some profits. I don't recommend buying on Zillow, but the average person, maybe they don't have a lot of money. Maybe this is you. Maybe you only have $100 to get started with. So let's call these $100 each. So you have $200 to get started. One of the best ways is to get started, obviously, with tax deeds, because you can buy property super cheap with tax deeds. Now, what's the problem with getting started with cheap tax deeds? We're gonna load up the bar, right? So we're gonna load up the bar with some big weight. The problem is you're probably gonna have to put in a little bit of elbow grease to get started, right? Anybody can get started with tax deeds. That's what I love about it. And you can get started with what's called over-the-counter tax deeds. With over-the-counter tax deeds, these are properties that haven't sold. You know, sounds crazy, but I've bought property for as little as $50 with over-the-counter tax deeds. Folks who watch this channel sometimes buy properties for a few $100, a few thousand. However, what you have to do is you have to do more reps. So let's just call it shrugs. You can critique my form, make fun of me. I'm not a fitness guru, but I will be after this video. So the thing is you have to do more reps, right? You're gonna get results, but you have to do more reps. So for somebody who has a lot more money, maybe they don't want to do a lot of reps. They want to just go bigger. But the cool thing is you do some more reps, you flip a cheap tax deed, and then the next thing you know, we go from these hundreds, we flip it, and now we are into the 500s. So you take 100, you could turn it into 1,000. So now there's more weight on the bar, which means you're gonna get bigger muscles. In contrast, what that means is more money in the bank account. So the same thing, right? You go, you flip more of these, you do a few more reps, you get a little more jacked in the gym, and next thing you know, you're gonna have huge, what do you call it? John Cena traps, right? So from here, you're gonna make more money. That means you can add more weight. So if you imagine this like a train, you can hop on at any point. You can hop on at the beginning of the track, or you can hop on later if you have more money. So if you have more money, what that obviously means is you can start with bigger weight, take bigger swings, and get bigger gains, right? So it doesn't matter where you start. So let's say, let's call this $45,000. I believe it's a 45-pound weight, but it feels like 5 pounds to me. No. But you get started with this, you put on the 45s. Now you're going to get bigger gains in your wallet. So we have this, it's heavier, right? You're gonna get more results, more money in the bank. So this is the visual representation. So you need to decide where you want to get started with. Maybe you have money in the bank, maybe you have $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. The more weight you put on, the bigger you're gonna get in your bank account, okay? So if you guys want some help with this stuff, what we do is we actually offer a totally free strategy session where we can take you by the hand and help you figure out which weights to put on your metaphoric profit machine, right? Because maybe you haven't hit the gym much, and the last thing we want is for you to pull a metaphoric financial muscle and buy a bad property. So what we can do is, just like a personal trainer puts together the workout plan for you, we can put together an investment plan to help you out. Now, we're not financial advisors. It's pretty black and white with tax liens and deeds. However, we can show you where to go, what type of properties to get started with, and take you by the hand and really hold you accountable, help you research, and if there's any problems with the property, help you identify those as well. So if you're interested in anything like that, there's a QR code on the screen. You can click it or scan it. Well, you can't click the QR code, but you can scan it, and you can go and book a call. There's also a link below this video in the description if you want to book a free call and get some of the best tax lien and deed help that is out there. So back to the gym, back to the weights, right? So you're gonna get started, you start putting on muscle, which is great. At that point, you can roll it over into bigger deals. Maybe you wanna buy single family homes. Maybe you want to buy apartment buildings. Now, the one thing though that is crazy about tax lien and deed investing is sometimes you don't have to start with the big weight to get a big win. So here's what I mean by that. There are plenty of counties that have inventory. There's 3,300 counties out there, and 1,500 of them are tax deed states. And the cool thing is the fact that some counties have over-the-counter properties, whether it's a house, sometimes apartment buildings, for as little as 50 or a couple $100. So what you can do is you can go buy them and they can be worth thousands. I've seen people literally buy apartment buildings for a couple $1,000s, a couple $100, fix them up and make big money. So you might be thinking, yeah, but that sounds weird, gimmicky, what's the catch? Here's the catch. A lot of the times, say the county has an apartment building and it's vacant or it's been abandoned, but the bones of the structure are good. And what they'll do is they'll say, hey, you can come buy this thing, just get it off our books. However, if we're gonna give you this property, you have 6 months to fix it up, make it a producing part of the community, and from there, basically, put people in it and rent it out. So if you don't do it in 6 months, you get a fine. And that's actually a mistake I made when I was young, about 20 years ago. I bought a property and I didn't read the fine print. I just went and bid $5,000 and I had, I think it was like 6 or 8 months to fix it up. I didn't fix it up in that time, and then they started hitting me with fines. So they started to add up, and at the end of the day, I only made a couple $1,000s, when if I would have just paid attention, I could have made a lot more money. So one of the big things with tax liens and deeds is you have to read the rules before you go to the auction. So think of this stuff like the game of Monopoly, right? We have the general game of Monopoly, which is tax liens or deeds. The board is very similar. Everywhere you go, you take the board to the county and you ask, can I please have the rules to play the game here? You abide by the rules there, you play the game, you can make good money. These auctions are happening every single month. So depending on where you are, there's a starting point for you in this business, which is awesome. It's real estate, you have collateral, and you can make really good money. That's how I got out of the oil field back in the day. So if you like this stuff, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. It's one of the best ways to get started in real estate. And once again, if you want some help, there's a QR code here on the screen. Go ahead, scan it, book a call with us. We'll take you by the hand, show you where the properties are, help you get a custom plan to be able to get as financially jacked as possible. Thank you for watching the Jim Bros edition of Tax Lien and Deed Investing. That link is below in the description. The calls are free. They generally fill up. So go ahead, book it. Thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. We'll see you in the next one.